Yeah, all mine are down here.
We are live.
We are live?
We are live.
Okay.
Hello, everyone.
Good morning, all.
Once again, I'm here with Philip, who wants to be off camera. And if I may say so, it's because he's wearing a do-rag. Go ahead and show him.
No.
The kid's getting
Okay.
Right. We're out in the backyard today because it's a beautiful morning in Orlando land. This time of year, I think you have to say that if you get up somewhere around 6:30, 7 o'clock, the weather is wonderful until around noon.
Which is about now.
Then it's a little too hot, and then about 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, we get our monsoon, which lasts about an hour or two. So between 12 and 6, you don't want to be outside, so you take full advantage of being out here early in the morning. Right?
Yes, sir.
And it's beautiful, it's sunny, it's great. There's that bird of paradise behind me. I'm in my little backyard. Isn't that great? Oh, yeah. Can you see? Can you see? Anyway, so last night...
Take it down there a bit, Pilgrim.
Last night I had decided... called me a pilgrim. I don't have those kinds of shoes. Anyway, last night we had decided that we were going to ask questions, or ask you to ask questions about my new book and all of my knitting and my life and stuff. We had some really great questions. We were supposed to post this video last night, however, we had unexpected company.
Yeah, very late company. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, who didn't leave until 11 o'clock, and by then I was pissy.
And he'll probably see this video later, so he'll understand.
Probably, but I told him in a manner of speaking that I was a little aggravated. He was there for so late.
Could you come earlier, please?
Could you come earlier next time, please?
Yes.
So anyway, so we just watched Buck Rogers and went to bed.
Great show, by the way. It
Yeah.
actually stands up to 25 years or whatever it's been since it's been on.
Yeah, we were like watching our like childhood revisited, and like it was amazing to see that we don't remember the storylines, but remember the costumes and the
Everything
spaceships
else.
and all that, and how gleeful we were watching everything. But so here we are now. I've
Okay.
got your questions.
Question.
Let's go. All right, so I'm not going to name names. I've never really been good on that because some people want to remain anonymous. You never know. But the questions came in from Facebook, Twitter, and my comments on my blog. So let's get started. Let's go with, how many hours a day do you knit typically? Damn.
12?
Close to 12. 10 to 12, around there. Yeah. I get up somewhere around 5-ish, 4:30-ish, 5-ish.
Yeah, the man only sleeps like 5 hours, people.
Yeah, I get up around there, and I start working before the coffee's ready, and then I knit until somewhere around noon, and then I take a quick siesta, because I think in hot weather climates, siestas are very important because you become more productive when you wake up. So then I get up that 3 o'clock or so, and then I get right back to work and keep going until 9 o'clock at night.
Yep. Thank you our Southern peeps for inventing the siesta.
The Spanish peeps?
The Spanish peeps.
No, the Southerners just had the fainting couch. Oh, the vapors. Oh. Anyway, so yeah, I guess that's my answer. How many teddy bears do you estimate you've made? We did the math, and in the past 5 years...
3,500?
It's been between 3,000 and 3,500. It's been a lot. I've actually looked into seeing if there's a Guinness World Record title that I'm entitled to. But that's just...
That's for fun.
and it's a guesstimate, really. It really is. But if you do the math, it comes out pretty close to around 3,000 or a little more. Here's one. I enjoyed your recent mirror video. So I flipped that now, so now you're not seeing the mirror image anymore. I enjoyed your recent mirror video. Loved seeing you live. What makes you happy? God, that's so general. What makes me happy? Oh, crap.
Politics.
Politics make me happy?
Yeah.
I love chit-chatting about politics, but I think my happiest moment of the day is when everything is done. If Philip is here, we're sitting on the couch, we're watching some bullcrap television, we're eating good food.
And we're like a 50s house. I leave for work and make the bacon, but he's really making the bacon. And then I get to come home and he makes me dinner.
Yes, I make dinner every night. Even though Philip's trade is he is a cook by trade,
Yeah,
I make
don't
dinner
have to
every
cook at
night
home.
because, one, it helps relax me, and two, Yeah, that makes me happy. Cooking makes me happy, and two, I like seeing the pleasure on his face when I've made dinner and he goes, "Oh wow, that looks good."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, and it's even better when he hands the plate back to me 5 minutes later and it's completely empty. So,
I'm from a big family. I eat fast.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm accustomed to in my earlier days of coursing, so it takes me a lot longer to eat my dinner. Anyway, what is your favorite yarn and why? Oh.
Ooh.
I don't like playing favorites, but I will mention some of my favorites.
I think you should just be. You could almost make that a general answer.
A general answer?
You like homemade. One person has handled this yarn.
I
dyed it
do.
and colored it. You love those yarns.
I do. I really like the hand-dyed, hand-spun, one-of-a-kind skeins that are distinctly their own.
And let me tell you, for somebody who doesn't knit, they're brilliant. Because when you touch them as they come, they're the softest things. It's like a baby
Yeah,
soft.
they really are.
Yeah.
On the more commercial end, I really do like Lion Brand's Woolies. It's a great yarn. I know a lot of people go, well, it's an acrylic blend. You know, sometimes acrylics make for better projects. The last thing I want to do is make a blanket using 100% wool because it would be impossible to wash. Also, there are some teddy bears that I want to make that are puke friendly. So, if they're for a
babies?
baby,
Yeah.
acrylic is the better choice because you can throw my teddy bear in the washing machine and it should be okay if you handle it delicately. But if you throw a wool teddy bear into the washing machine, man, you're going to have a felting mess on your hands. So, but Lion Brand's Woolies has that great feeling of wool without it being 100%. So it's an acrylic blend that mimics the feeling of a really good soft wool. So that would be my answer. I hope Lion Brand is listening.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Okay. Have you thought about starting a madman knitting group in your area? Perhaps group knitting teddies from your pattern to hand out to the homeless or some sort. It's a sweet question to ask, but it's not practical. I would love to. Okay, we'll start backwards. I think the last thing that the homeless want is a knit teddy bear, but it's a sweet question. It really is. But
They want a beer and a meal.
yeah, well, yeah. But here's, I think, would be the better approach is if I started a group of men knitting, and the better idea is not that they use their talents for anything other than learning about themselves and learning how to take their craft and actually survive with it. I think that's a better approach, especially if it is a homeless guy and I could show him, look, you believe, and even if it's something like woodworking or iron welding or any other talent that he possesses, to remember that the skills that he owns are the most valuable thing that he has, and if no one will employ him, he can learn to employ himself.
Absolutely.
That would be a better concept. And if I did have a group of madmen knitting and we did knit up different things, I think it would be better to do like the Carol and Her project, which I'll be talking about in a couple of blogs later, where they take their knitted things, they sell them to the public at like flea markets and farmers markets and craft shows and that kind of thing, and then they donate all of the proceeds back to the different charitable organizations that they work with.
I think
that's a
makes
much
more
better
sense.
idea.
That makes sense.
What's your favorite book? Man. Can you name it?
It's probably freaking Ayn Rand's Atlas Shrugged.
Yeah, well,
That's one of your favorites.
That's hot. Atlas Shrugged is high on my list.
And then there's
but,
the collage book from that comedian. She did the cookbook and the how to.
Oh, Amy Sedaris.
Amy Sedaris is.
I Like You.
Yes.
That's a great book.
Yes, that's a great book. Absolutely.
But I think anybody who's followed this blog for a long time knows that my absolute favorite
Howard's
book,
End.
Howard's End. Howard's
Yes.
End is my favorite book.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ian Forster is the guy I wish I could write like. Every book I've ever read of his, Howard's End is the highest, and it's one book I read actually every spring. How long have you lived at your current place? This apartment I've lived in for 3 years now. And it was a hard one to get because not a lot of people wanted to rent to a homeless self-employed knitter with a cat.
Absolutely.
With no automobile and no job. So I was thankful that my landlord was really good in giving me a chance. And it's been 3 years. Perhaps a tour? We have issues with my agoraphobia, so there won't be a tour anytime soon.
No.
However,
It will
virtual
happen.
tours are great. I don't
Yeah.
know if it may happen. No, really. No.
Well,
I
we
have
talked
pretty
about
much
a trip to Savannah. So
I have a mile or two radius that I can go
Right.
without
I'm
flipping
sure.
out.
Trust me, we went to when he went to MegaCon, ladies
Yeah,
and
that
gentlemen.
was a big deal.
Yeah, it was a big deal.
Yeah.
I thank him for going because we had a great time.
But there is nothing to say that in the future I can't hold some kind of event and have everyone come here.
Well, that's true.
You know, and I don't like making the agoraphobia a big thing because it doesn't bother me. I mean, I have my zone and everything is within 5 minutes of walking.
Absolutely.
Everything I need in the world.
Welcome to the American neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you live in a great neighborhood, I mean, you don't have to travel far. And with the internet, thankfully, I have friends and supporters and from Norway to the Netherlands to Japan, all over the world. So it's not necessary for me to actually go there unless you actually just want to, I don't know, see me in person and give me a hug. Is Orlando where you plan to stay? Yeah. When I've not lived in Savannah, I've always lived in this neighborhood of Orlando. And it's pretty much the central part. And my dream is to own a home a couple blocks over that way in Colonial Town. Right. The houses are like these really cool concrete block 50s, 60s, 70s ranch style homes. They're nothing extravagant, nothing big, but it's a great old neighborhood. That even the Publix cashiers in this neighborhood have worked there for 15 years, and you see the same people day in and day out, and I really appreciate that kind of lifestyle. But is Orlando where I plan to stay? Absolutely. Do you need to take a pee break? Yes, I do. So if you'll excuse me, we're going to pause and we'll be right back.
That's sweet. Back from our pee break, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Prepared. Let's go.
Okay.
Round two.
Y'all see my Alien Sex Fiend shirt? Yeah. It's one of my favorite bands. Sorry. Are you involved at all with local charities, homeless, like the Coalition or any other local knitting charities? Not directly, no. Here's what I do. I don't have any money.
Right.
But what I do is, somewhere around December, the sales that I've made in December, I keep some aside, and then I donate that to two groups. The first is the Second Harvest Food Bank, which is an amazing organization. And if you do your research, you'll find they're at the very top of the list of trustworthy charities, where all the money goes where it says. They're totally transparent, great organization. The other one I do is the Orlando Rescue Mission. I want to say I'm not going to do it next year, but there's a reason. First, they're moving out of town. They're moving to Winter Garden. And second is, they've opened up a second facility in Orlando that I'm looking into, where they actually have 4 men only, which is actually very hard to find in many major cities.
Yeah, it's supposed to sleep like 250 people.
It sleeps 200 guys or more, and they actually give them skills. They put them in classes so that if they need certification for a certain job, they'll put them through those courses, and so when they apply for the job, they can show that they have the certification.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, it's actually very good. So I think this coming December, all of what I have been able to give back will go towards Second Harvest and this new organization. Once we see how they've done over the year and how well it goes, and at Christmas time, you know, people want to be charitable with me and offer me things, and I say, whatever you're going to spend on me, I'd rather you just take whatever you're going to spend on me and just give it to your local charity of your choosing. I don't need Christmas presents. I really don't. I'm good. My birthday, however, is 2 weeks after Christmas, and that's a different story.
That's when we give gifts.
That's when we have an Amazon wish list, and we filter it out to all of my friends and family. Anyway.
Apparently he thought he was married to a rich man.
Do you prefer circulars or DPNs? Well, they both have their place, obviously, in whatever project you're working on. Circulars are awesome for when, like, I do the messenger bags. Like, I do a messenger bag once a year. Those are very popular, but they take a long time to make. I obviously use the DPNs for my teddy bears, but I gotta tell you, I love using the DPNs because you really do have the feeling of being a ninja with nunchucks. You really do have that whole, like, shwa, shwa. Yeah. It's an awesome.
Hey, don't look at me like I have no idea what you're talking
If
about.
for some reason people think DPNs are like some, calibrated higher concept of knitting where it's like that's technically good, it's really not. And I'll do a video in a couple of days to show you how to really cast on simply with double pointed and just keep going. But it impresses people when you're out in public because they're like, wow, they're working with 4 needles, not 2. And you're like, that's because I'm a ninja. Mm-hmm. Right. Okay. Favorite thing to do while knitting: music, television, etc. Okay. When I get up in the morning and I start knitting, I listen to the news. I like audible stuff while I'm knitting because I need to focus on, and I'm counting in my head.
Are we name dropping?
We're gonna talk Herman Cain.
Herman Cain.
Yeah,
and
9 o'clock I start listening to Herman Cain while I'm knitting.
and Red Eye.
Oh, and on the weekends, yeah, I stack
Eye.
up my episodes of Red Eye, and I watch those on the weekends while I'm knitting. Mm-hmm. And then I'll pick up. I love learning new things, and right now I have a fondness for Japan. I really have a deep fondness. I think it goes back to my grandparents. They lived in Japan in the 50s, and they always spoke very highly of it. You can go to NHK World and stream. It's like Japanese PBS, and you can watch it all day long, 24 hours a day, and it's brilliant, and I love it. And you learn all about the Japanese culture. So I'll be listening to that while I'm knitting, and then I'll move on to like my music, listening to my Alien Sex Fiend or my Susie and the Banshees, my Skinny Puppy, my Depeche. Yeah.
Yes, all of those.
Yeah, I'm that sort. Okay, so that's what I do. I don't like to watch television while I'm knitting because it distracts, and I have to pick up from looking at my needles to look at the television. But yeah.
That is true.
Have you thought about making a podcast? I would love to do a podcast.
I'm surprised you haven't.
I'm not technically as advanced as many people out there on the internet, so I need some guidance when it comes to that, and I'm hoping just the right person will show me how to do that properly. And also look into whether people would rather have video options versus audible options. Which one would get more bang for my buck, so to speak. But yeah, I love doing the podcast I did a couple weeks ago with the fellas, Tim and Olivier. That was a lot of fun. That was really a lot of fun. And if you didn't hear it, you can go through my blog and go back to Raw Voices. That was the name of the blog piece where you can hear the podcast. And that was a lot of fun. Yeah. Why isn't Will Knit for Food on Kindle? Well, because Philip said it best. I wanted to have something tactile.
We believe people should still read books.
Yeah, well, no, I think you should be able to read whatever you want, but I wanted something that I can sign that would have my signature, that would have...
That's why you called it your tome.
Yeah, you would have forbearance in your home. There's this big, thick, 600-page book that has the complete Madman knitting story signed by me. Yeah. I mean, there's something great about taking technological advancement when it comes to literature and art and taking it to the next level, but then there's some basic beautiful things that you will never find again, like autographed books.
No, you won't.
Or vinyl, things like that. Those things are coming back because there's some things you can't hold unless you have it in the author's hand or the artist's hand first. And so that's why I wanted Will Knit for Food to be a print-only production where it has my signature in every copy, and you can rest assured that it was with me first. And there aren't that many of them, sadly. But no, but the idea that you could just download it quickly off Kindle kind of demeans the whole, let me give you a moment of myself from artist to audience that you can actually tangibly hold. And that's why Will Knit for Food will not be on Kindle.
Sorry,
that's
ladies.
That. Sorry. Postage to the UK and outside of America.
Woo!
Yes,
Shit
that's
is
nothing to do with
expensive.
me. Because again, the book is 600 pages. It's about £3,
Yeah.
and in order to mail it out of the United States, minimum. Canada's different, but outside of North America, it costs minimum $20. So that's why I had to charge that, and I understand why some people won't pay for it, and I get that. But my really good friend Giovanni and I are conspiring an idea, which I'm sure the government will shut down the minute they hear about it. But if I send him my books in one big chunk, then he can send them off individually outside of North America for a lot cheaper than me sending them individually myself. So we are working on that and coming up with the ideas. And Giovanni is an amazing man. He's yeah,
Really cool. He's a nice fellow.
he is a really great guy, and we wanted to give him a shout out because yeah, he's awesome. Ravelry. Okay, again, technological advancement. I love Ravelry, and I love what it does, and I love what it's been able to do for me. The problem is, I have a hard time navigating through there because I can't figure out all the different options and buttons, and so I get lost very fast. That is the only reason I don't go to Ravelry more often than other knitters. I know there are some very famous knitters on there that work Ravelry like crazy.
He is not one of them, ladies.
I am not one of them. I'm just definitely not.
Or ladies and gents, actually, because we're going for the man.
Yeah, there are a
Yeah.
couple of fellas out there. We have to
Okay.
give a shout out to the fellas.
Sorry, fellas.
Yeah. It is Madman Knitting
Knitting,
and the women
absolutely.
who love them. Yeah.
Love it.
I'm paraphrasing this. Is knitting no longer as therapeutic as it once was? No, it's not. And that's why we're trying to go into different directions now, especially with my writing. And I have a plan for something to happen in February. I don't want to talk about it now because if I talk about it, I might screw it up and jinx it. But we have a plan. But knitting used to be an escape for me, like most people, and it was something to relax with. I've got some nerve damage now because of it, and it hurts sometimes. I don't want to say that I don't like it anymore. Of course I love it. It's part of my soul. I mean, knitting is everything that I am, but the therapy no longer exists in the work. The therapy now comes from doing things when I put the needles down. Ironically, it's a strange contradiction that many people pick up knitting for stress relief, and I pick up knitting and it can sometimes be painful.
And I believe for the short term, that's a really true
Yeah.
concept. It's very
Yeah.
mesmerizing and therapeutic and meditative.
Yeah.
I think.
It is, but
If
as
you're
a hobby,
knitting for a business for 4 years without little Japanese people to help
Yeah.
you knit your stuff together. There's no factory here, people. He does do it all himself.
it just it when I'm done knitting at the end of the day, it hurts, and so I look for other things to find therapy. I hate having to say that, but that's the truth. What's the latest book sale total? Okay, so on Friday I had said I was going to sell 100 copies that day. We sold 4.
4. Yes.
Okay. And then by last night, it's Sunday morning, by last night we had sold 9 out of 100 that I wanted to sell. No, that's nothing to sneeze at.
No.
Even though I had said I wanted to shoot for 100, I am now willing to say if I can sell 20 by tomorrow, that makes my whole purpose complete, because I would not have sold that 20 if I had not reached for something
100.
higher.
Sure.
Yeah,
I'll give you
if I
that.
had said, oh, you'll never be able to sell 100 in a day, I would never have even started this weekend of massive self-promotion.
No.
But, and also there are very important factors involved as well. The more that I'm able to sell, then the more I can order. And the more I order, the cheaper it is for me, and the more books I can buy. So with all the orders that have come in this weekend, tomorrow morning, Monday morning, I'll be putting in my order to get these books printed and then delivered. But if I reach a certain threshold, the price comes down incredibly. And so that's why we've sold 9 this weekend. But if I can get 20 more up to at more than 25, the price drops dramatically. And that is such a great thing. So that's my goal, is that after you watch this video and you watch this whole weekend happen, that you'll go, okay, I'll snag a copy. All we need is 20 more, and the price comes down so that I can actually lower the price for everybody else. It's a great concept. It really is. The more you buy, the cheaper they are. So that's,
yeah, you're looking for a bulk order.
yeah. If
Yes.
I can put in an order for a minimum of 25,
Everyone saves.
the price drops. It's not a lot, but it's enough to make a difference. And so
Work with us.
yeah, that's it. I mean, I'm here to sell stuff. I mean, I can't lie about it. I mean,
Right.
I'm here to actually. This is my livelihood. And
Next question.
that was the last question.
That was the last one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I'm just trying to let everyone know that I want to sell 20 more copies by tomorrow morning, so I can put in my order for 25 at least. At least. Right on.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this question and answer bit, because I thought I had a lot of fun. Philip, anything you'd like to ask me before we go?
No, actually, I had a good time. I won't be on the camera anytime soon, but this banter is a lot of fun. I hate having my picture taken, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, he does. The minute you show him in a picture, he goes like this. Whoop. Yeah, so he's not good on camera. He's good off camera. He's good. He's behind the scenes people.
Yes. I should be the producer.
I'd like to take this moment to thank all the little people. But thanks for sitting in on this video, and thanks for sending me your questions. And I look forward to doing this again.
Yeah, we'll do this again.
Yeah. So all right, go buy a book